Hi there, my name is Marina Newington and I help entrepreneurs building an online business from home crack the magic of getting clients and making money. And today we are talking about ICA, which is your ideal customer avatar. All right, this, my friends, is the heart of getting those raving fans. All right, I can't tell you how often I am asked, where can I find my clients? Where are they? How do I find my clients? Well, I'm glad you asked because we're going to answer that question, but it all begins with your ICA. So what is your ICA? So your ICA is, depending on where you are in your journey, either a made-up person or a real person. Now, if you haven't worked with people yet, if you haven't had clients yet, and you don't have the dream client, then it can be a made-up person, the person that is your dream to work with. But here's the thing. It needs to be one person. And I know that this is really hard when you are starting out because so many times, like, well, I want to serve everyone and I don't want to narrow my market and I don't want to, I don't want to constrain things. I want to reach lots of people because I want to make a lot of impact. And listen, I know you have a big heart and I know that you want to serve lots of people and I want to help you serve lots of people, but you can't serve all the people because here's the thing. If you are giving a generic message for all the people to cover old and young, male and female, online-based, product-based, whatever it is, then you are saying nothing, my friend. You are not talking to anybody and you are not saying anything. If you want to communicate to people, okay, and this is marketing here we're talking about. If you want to communicate to people, you have to speak to them specifically. So it doesn't mean that your product can only go to this one specific person, but your messaging, the things that you say, your online presence, the social media channels that you pick, everything depends on who you are talking to. And you need to pick one person. It doesn't mean you can only sell to one person, but you have to pick who is the dream person that you want to work with. And that is your ideal customer avatar. So there are a few things. First of all, you have to pick your ideal customer avatar, and then you have to flesh out a bio on them. But let's talk a little bit more about picking your ICA, because this is something that a lot of people are really super resistant to. And believe me, this is something that you get better at as you go and you niche down. I'll give you some examples from my own journey. I started as a health coach originally. When I retrained, I was originally in finance and marketing. I was in finance and then I was in marketing. I got an MBA from Columbia. Then I went into marketing. I worked at Sainsbury's. I was working in retail, totally different thing. Then I had 4 kids. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 4 kids. And I focused on being a mom because that was my priority. And then I retrained as a health coach. And I was working as a health coach, and then I was working with entrepreneurial women, and then that evolved into focusing on working with women in business. And then, I was doing all of these things, and eventually it evolved into showing people how to get their businesses going. So, as you evolve, your ICA evolves, and that's okay. But you need to pick someone for right now. So, for example, on this little journey that I just told you about, I started with busy moms, okay? Because that's a health coach, and I want to focus on busy moms. Then it was entrepreneurs, because female entrepreneurs. And then that was too general. So I had to have female entrepreneurs who were moms. And then I had busy female entrepreneurs working from home. And right now, my ideal client is you, who are female entrepreneurs, like specific. My one person, she is a woman who is starting a business from home. She has kids and a family, and she's trying to juggle all the things, and her business is so important to her. She's super passionate about it, but she also has a family and she has a life and she wants to balance all of these different things, but she wants to, number one, make her business a success, but she has all these other things going on too. That's who I'm speaking to. Do you see how that's like really specific as opposed to female entrepreneur? That's really broad. So when I am speaking to the specific person, I know who she is. My ICA has a name, okay? She's called Lizzie, by the way. She used to be Kira and Charlotte. Okay, she has a name. This is number 2, all right? So after you pick your dream person, then you have to start fleshing things out about this person. Okay, let me just finish on that first point, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect. And it could be that you serve more than one person, but start with one ICA. Who is the favorite person that you had that you worked with? An amalgamation of people that you had that you work with. What was it about them that you loved and would get you excited and motivated to keep going to work? Not the person that gave you money and you made money off of them, but it sucked working with them. No, that is not your ICA, okay? That is a soul suck, and that is not what you want. Who are the people who let you up? And if you haven't worked with people who let you up before, who would let you up? Who is that dream person, that one person, okay? That one person, let's dig deep into who they are. And this is the crux of making a great ICA and making great messaging that is going to talk to your people and that is going to set you apart from your competitors and all that online noise that is going on, because there's a lot of noise in the marketplace. So it's not just about demographics. Okay, that's a starting point. So you want to give this person a name. All right, what do they look like? Are they married? Do they have kids? Where do they live? What does their house look like? How much money do they make a year? But then, all of these things, like figure out those things. Those are important, but then let's drill down, okay? This is the crux of ICA work. And when you hear people talking about, oh, I'm doing all this work, this is the stuff, all right? And listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's hard work, okay? It's hard work, but it is the most worthwhile work, okay? If you take the time to do this, you are going to save yourself hours, weeks, months, I promise you, months and months of work, because you are going to start with the right messaging and you are going to go to the right places where this person is hanging out. Okay, so let's ask some big questions. First of all, what keeps this person up at night? Okay, what are they struggling with? What are their pain points? Firstly, in relation to the product or service that you sell, and secondly, in general in life. What are they worried about? When they are up at night, what are they worrying about? Are my kids taking drugs? Are they on the internet too much? Am I a bad mom? Is everyone going to find out that nobody knows what I'm doing with my business? What is it? What are their pain points? What are they worried about? Okay, then the next question is, what are their dreams? What are their desires? What are the things that are going to light them up? What do they want in this world? What do they want for their business? And what do they want for themselves? Okay, what are their dreams? All right, write these things down. Make a list, brainstorm, write it out. Figure out what it is that they want. Okay, so you have their pain points and you have their desires. Now let's figure out a little bit about what they do and how they interact. So what kind of social media do they participate on? Does this person hang out on Facebook? Do they hang out on Insta? Are they a LinkedIn person? Are they on Twitter? Do they scroll? Do they stop on something? What do they like to do in their free time? What magazines do they read, if they do at all? Do they do all their stuff online? Where do they like to shop? What are their favorite brands? Are they a Lululemon girl? I am wearing some right now. What do they like to eat? Do they like to go out to restaurants? Do they like to interact with their friends? Okay, pandemic aside, What do they like to do in their free time? Do they like to go to the theater? Do they like to go to the movies? Do they like to go dancing? Do they like to go to wrestling mania? And what is it that they like to do? What is it that makes them happy? How do they interact? How do they engage? Because you want to get in front of them where they are. Okay, this is another thing about ICA work. If you figure out where your ideal client is, then you can talk to them, and maybe it's not in the traditional place. So if you sell, I don't know, pet food, right? And you know that you go to all the typical places where people buy food, and all of these sorts of things. But then you start thinking, well, I have a dog, my clients have dogs, and they take them out for walks in the park. And these are their favorite parks that they like to go to. Well, you can start, looking at, favorite walk websites, start talking about pet food there. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can start thinking out of the box a little bit. Okay, that might have been a little bit out there because I don't have a dog. I don't know why I picked that example. I could have picked a million better examples for you, but there you have it, the pressure of the moment. But the point is that you can figure out where you can look that's a little bit outside of the box and talk to the people. Okay, so for example, if you're doing what I'm doing and you're talking to, women who are trying to build a business from home, then, you can look at yoga and workout sites, because these are things that these sorts of women prioritize for themselves. Right? So, I mentioned the Lululemon. That's like a great thing. That's the sort of things they buy, the kind of forums they go on, the exercise place they go to. And, maybe that's a place, an opportunity, or maybe that's something that you can bring into your messaging. Okay, so I think that we have covered quite a lot here. I don't want to give you too much because there's a lot of stuff, and I have in the membership that I am building, I'm so excited. I am building an online membership, and I'm going to be talking about all this stuff. And inside that membership, I'm going to have the formula that I use for answering all the questions to figuring out who your ICA is. And then there's so much more you can do. You can interview people, you can date them. There are all sorts of things you can do to get more and more on this. But let's get you started, okay? So to wrap up, this is what you are going to do to figure out who your ICA is. Number one, you are going to pick one person. And it can be a whole combination of things. And first of all, think of all the people that you have worked with that you loved. What was it about them that you loved working with? What is it? Those are part of the puzzle. Then who is your dream client? Who do you want to work with more than anything? That is part of the puzzle. Turn that into one person. Give them a name. Who are they? What do they care about? Okay, what are they worried about? What do they aspire to? Answer all these questions. What is their behavior? Where do they hang out? What do they like to do? What do they not like to do? Look at all these questions. That is your ICA, my friend. And that is the first step in getting clients that are dying to work with you, okay? That is the beginning of getting your ideal, of getting those raving fans, all right? Getting your ideal client. So I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to hear how you're getting on with figuring out your ideal client. Let me know in the comments below, or pop me an email, marina@powersystem.global. I promise I answer my emails, and I would love to hear from you. Okay, I will talk to you next time.